Hello, it's Karen Kennedy and we're planning for success. This was supposed to be a Facebook Live event and something went completely wrong in the feed, but something went wrong in the feed for my event, but I'm going to just do this page and then I'll record it and post it to the event so people can see it. So we're going to do an abbreviated one, so we're done by 6:30. We're planning for success. And if you haven't done this before, I want you to download this handout. It is, and I'm putting all this in the chat. I want you to have your calendar ready, and I want you to download this. You can also just kind of do it by hand if you want, but I like this handout. You don't have to join a mailing list to get this handout. You just download it. No, nothing. And remember, when we start planning for the next week ahead, the first thing we do is we look back at the previous week and like what went well, and mostly what went really poorly, because like this. What went wrong last week, and then how can you plan on putting some supports in place for that not to happen next week? All right, no sense in beating yourself up about it. So think about what days were total food disasters for you. I'm going to whip through this in 15 minutes, but you can hit the replay. And you have this, and the first thing is always to put your week ahead on a schedule. So you're going to write down roughly like when you're home, when you're at work, so you know when you have time to cook, when you're going to eat your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe a snack, and what you're going to have. Okay? But first you need to know when you actually have time, because it doesn't make sense to plan, oh yeah, Wednesday night we're going to have this great meal, but when you sketch out your Wednesday, you realize you have no time to cook that. So you know on Wednesday you need to plan something more convenient, and you need to shop for that this weekend. You buy the things so that it's convenient, and that way you don't get stuck not eating or eating crappy food. All right, so you're planning your schedule, and then at the bottom of that you're going to put each day what's for one is, this is a handout. This is kind of a big ebook sort of thing, but the end of it, don't get put off by this is Smart Snacks and Small Meals. That's just a handout with ideas of really simple meals to have, like scrambled eggs and toast is a meal. Cut up some red peppers with it. That should be our new idea of fast food. The other one here, I call this my Superfood Handout. At the end of my Superfood Handout is a list of kind of how to eat on the go, how to, when you're living out of your car because you're driving your kids everywhere, how to pack a cooler and some non-perishables and things so you always have some wholesome snacks and actually small meals in your car with you. So even if you do have to grab something out that's less desirable, you do have some good nutrition with you all the time. It saves you money and you eat better. All right. So for those of you, like, you might have your cookbooks, and some people like to ask me, like, what cookbooks do you like? So I'm going to show you. One of my favorites is written by a mentor of mine, Cynthia Lair, Feeding the Whole Family. I like it first and foremost because the recipes work. Like, the recipes taste good as they are. And she does a lot of alternative grains in here, so it's not just all wheat-based. Just a really good book with good instructions on how to feed babies and incorporate and bring children into it. Another one of my favorite cookbooks is Hugh Fernley Whittingstall, River Cottage every day. None of this is the thing to think about like Karen's a nutritionist and she's eating this stuff. It's real food. It's just normal food, but it's the kind of food you really want to eat. And then my friends who are on restricted diets, who might be limiting themselves, maybe of gluten, of dairy, or eggs or something. This is an author I think you should know. This is Ali Sergensen. She is an amazing cookbook author, and she does a great job with restricted diets and making things taste great. She has a couple cookbooks out. She went to Bastyr, where I went. I can't say enough about her books. But if you want me to just say, just make this week. Karen, tell me what to cook. These are my suggestions for your week of things you can plan in advance. Are you ready? The first one is lentil and sausage soup. Or if you want something vegetarian, you can just have it be lentils and vegetable soup. And this is my YouTube video for it. You can scale it up and make it a nice big pot so it's a good hearty, soup. Make one of those every week and make a huge pot of it. You can freeze things for later or just eat it for a few days for meals. I like to send hearty soups with my daughter in a thermos for lunch. I just love having it around. Make this weekend. It's really good, high in fiber. You'll get your 20 grams of protein per meal. You'll need to add to your list lentils, Italian sausage, canned tomatoes, chicken broth, onions, carrots, celery, some herbs. I roasted chicken legs with roasted vegetables. So I like to buy whole chicken legs with the skin, with the bone, because that is a really economical way to buy your chicken, which means you can buy a higher quality chicken, right? And still save some money. So I like to put those, olive oil, salt, maybe some herbs, maybe some smoked paprika, and roast those on a roasting pan at 375 for a half an hour. And then I put a separate roasting pan salt, garlic, and rosemary. That's another one I like. You could also put a different pan in with some broccoli or Brussels sprouts. Roast a whole bunch of chicken, roast a whole bunch of vegetables, and then you'll have dinner for that night, and then you'll have leftovers for another night. Okay? So that just roasted chicken and roasted vegetables. And if that is too much for you, like if you need something more convenient than that, go down the line. Buy a rotisserie chicken or, rotisserie chicken parts and bring those home. That's really convenient. And maybe you can even bring home some pre-prepped vegetables that you can put in the oven. Okay? So we have the lentil soup. We have the roasted chicken and vegetable sheet pan dinner. And the other one is to make some baked beans, homemade baked beans, and baked potatoes. And if you don't have time to make a big pot of baked beans, no big deal. Why don't you buy a couple cans of baked beans? Like Heinz baked beans, and I think there's some organic ones. Here is my recipe for really good baked beans. That's in the chat. It's a blog post, but this is one of the things I make in my big red cast iron pot. And when I make those, I like to freeze them. But I love a meal with either roasted potatoes or, just put a baked potato in the oven, 425 for 1 hour. Make sure you poke it so it doesn't explode. And then you have really nice crispy skin baked potatoes, slice it, butter, some sour cream, and serve that with baked beans and a salad. It's a great easy meal. Or some leftover roast veg. So those are my main meal ideas for you. And you know what to shop for. I use haricot beans or the small navy beans for my baked beans. I put tomato paste in it. I use mustard in it. I use onions. I use bacon in it. And if you're vegetarian, you could use liquid smoke. but I use some bacon in my baked beans and molasses and brown sugar. That's what you have to shop for. Now for lunches, I would suggest making an egg salad. I'd get a dozen eggs, cook them all, peel them all, and make some egg salad. This great low carbohydrate lunch for me. And then for breakfast, I'm going to give you my, well, this could be a breakfast, lunch, or a dinner. Scrambled eggs. I want scrambled eggs. If you eat eggs, if you like eggs, I think scrambled eggs should just be a real go-to for fast food for any meal. And I've got a YouTube video. If you don't like scrambled eggs, maybe you don't cook them very well. I encourage you to watch my perfect scrambled egg video because you can make them taste good. And eggs can be really a perfect food. Eggs in a salad, maybe some toast, and you're really set. Okay, so I'm hoping you have some ideas of meals you're going to make. And then, you know, on the back of this, I want you to make a list. If you just want to go with my list because you don't want to have to think about this and you just want to do what you're told, I get that. Just list the meals that I talked about and then make your shopping list. And your shopping list could be for ingredients, or if you need some convenience, remember you could buy canned beans. You could buy a rotisserie chicken instead of chicken legs, right? Make the list of everything you need for all of these meals. And then write down what you can prep ahead of time, either on the weekend or like the night before. Remember, you can pre-bake your potatoes. You could bake them when you have your oven on for something else. Throw in some baked potatoes for an hour so they're done, and then just put them in the fridge, and you just have to reheat them in the microwave. That is one idea. But write down what you can prep, and prep your salad dressing in advance and all those things. It makes a big deal. And the more I do this for myself, the more I actually take my own advice, the better everything works. Now, this is the last one of these in this series that I'm going to do on Friday nights. So I hope it's been helpful. But I want to encourage you, I'm going to put some stuff in here. Let's see if that went in very well. If you're not in my Facebook group, you know, I have a private Facebook group, not this here, Real Food Matters. Let's put this in there. I'd invite you to join that because I'm really active on that. I post recipes. Or get in a habit of something, I find it really helpful to get into the thought process of somebody else who does it regularly. So I'm putting Facebook group here, comments. So join that group if you're not already in it. It's a good group and you'll know everything I've got going on. And in the other comment, I have a thing to sign up for my mailing list. I have a weekly mailing list. And my newsletter is actually, I think it's really good. I try to make it good. I try to put some nutrition information that I think would be useful to you, that you can learn about, health. I always add at least one recipe. I'm reading some comments here. I always put at least one recipe in there, sometimes two, and I try to put some value in there so you'll like it. The other thing I have going on is I have my Nourish You membership. If you like this planning and you'd like more help brainstorming with me on a Zoom call, I have either 2 or 3 weekly group coaching calls every week. Right now they're Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. And I do Q&A, whatever people want to talk about, but I really try to figure out, you know, what are you going to make this week? Do we need to do some meal planning? Some people are on restricted diets. They're like, I don't know what to make. I'm in a rut. And we brainstorm, and you get the benefit of not just me, but other people. And that group cost $127 a month. But in my newsletter, I always have a coupon. It makes it $97 a month. So get it. And for under $100 a month, you can have a nutritionist like giving you ideas and helping you brainstorm and helping you meal plan every ideas to support your liver, to support detoxification this month. And finally, there's a link to my April continuous glucose monitor group. So you guys know me and my continuous glucose monitor. These are those little dots. Let me put one on, these things. They go on your arms, sometimes you put them on your chest, and they monitor your glucose levels 24/7 without any finger poking. And I use them as both a diagnostic tool, so I can see if my clients are pre-diabetic, if their glucose is out of control, are they going too low? You know, is that causing a problem? And then we can really dial in their diet and personalize it to them. And even see, you know, we can hack in their favorite foods. You only have to do the minimum that you have to do to regulate your blood sugar. So you don't have to do all the things. It's just a great tool. It's really educational for you. And it's accountability because you've always got this thing on your arm reminding you, no, that wasn't a good idea. So I encourage you to look into that with me. It's a great program, and I'm trying to do that a couple times a year. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up, and I'll repost it for you. But please stay in touch. I hope you've liked this series, and if you want me to do it again, let me know, and I'll do it again for you because this has been fun for me. Because when I plan in advance, the rest of my week is less stressful. We eat better. I spend less time stressing and thinking, and I don't snack. I just eat better when I plan ahead. Sometimes that is all it takes. So thanks for tuning in this last month for these, and keep in touch and plan for success. Bye, you guys.